Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chinaya. Good afternoon, Dr. Francis.
Yeah, good afternoon, Joshua. How are you?
I'm fine, Doctor.
Good.
Thank you.
Hello, where's everyone now?
So I was trying to get them to join the meeting.
Okay. What was done last week?
We tried to look at data modeling.
Data modeling. Okay. But I thought last week was the first time we are entering into Power BI.
No, so that's and last week was the second session for Power BI.
Okay, second session. Okay, normally when you are introducing Power BI, you need to start from that foundation, right? Because there are so many things like importing data from various sources. Do you guys show how to import data from the web, SQL database?
No, we focused mostly on Excel.
Okay, only on Excel. Okay, so that's why normally we have to follow that. So how do you import from different sources? Then you talk about data cleaning because that's very important. Then before you talk about modeling, right? Then DAX, then visualizations. Unless maybe the group had already agreed and they had already have some level already of or some experience with Power BI, then okay, that's fine.
The group didn't agree that we have some experience with Power BI. I mean, we're treating it like it's something that most of us have not worked with.
Okay, if that's the case now, so there has to be a flow. But that's fine. Hello. So can we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good day, everyone. Izzy, Joy, how are you guys doing? All right, we said we started last week, right? How we can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So whenever we are dealing as analysts, right? If you remember the three things we do, what are the three things we do as data analysts?
Extract.
We extract data, right? What do we do next?
We transform.
We transform so that so under analysis, right?
Yeah.
Visualize.
So so here we talk about transformation and cleaning, right? It's part of it. Then you what? Visualize.
Visualize.
So this is what we normally do, right? But normally beyond this, so once you have learned this, at least you can take any role, right? But when it now becomes beyond you now have to now deploy. So that's not the next step. Now you now have to now do deployment of this your reports. Okay, so that's another stage to it. Okay, but these are the basically three things that we do. We extract data, and to extract data, what tool do we use to extract the data? What tool do we use to extract the data?
SQL.
SQL, is it not? We use SQL to extract the data, is it not? What tool do we use to analyze the data?
Excel.
Excel.
We use Excel, beautiful. We can use Excel. Some other tools again we can use. What other tools can we use?
Can't you use Power BI? No, don't so.
Power query, right?
Now,
query,
Power
sorry.
queries for
That
clean and transformation, right?
Yes,
So
you are right.
Power queries for the transformations and clean it. Okay. What again? What other tool can we use to analyze?
Power BI.
Yes, Power BI itself may not necessarily be analysis. It may be analysis, but that will not come with
Visualization.
summary, right? So it's here Power BI now comes in. Because what we are going to see that most of the tools we are learning, we see that we can use them to do so many things, but there are some that are used for specific things. Even your SQL, you know, you can use your SQL to analyze.
And Python.
Yes, you can use your R, right? You can use your Python, right? Some tools are specific, right? But yet you can use for different things. So even your SQL, you can use to extract data, you can use to analyze. Is it not? Same thing with your Excel, you can use it to what? Store data, you can use to analyze, right? Then we now visualize, right? So now these are now the tools, core tools for what? These different words, subheads. So extracting SQL, analyzing Excel, Python, R, visualization, either Power BI or what? Tablet,
Excel.
right? Even your Excel, right? Your Excel can also come in. So you see, Excel again can cover almost everything. Okay, good. So at this point, we have worked on Excel, isn't it? We have worked on SQL, right? So we want to take these your tools in Excel and now what? Connect it here, right? Where we now need to now what? Visualize. Because most of these analysis that we do, it's not for your own consumption, right? Most time it is for management or stakeholders, right? It's for management or stakeholders. So most time they may not understand how you present it here. So rather what they want to look at, they just look at a one-page summary of everything, which we call the dashboard. The dashboard, right? Or sometimes you call the reports. So this is what management want to see, these reports. So all those things you now do at the back end. Well, that's why whenever you are doing your presentation, you don't tell them how you did it. Just tell them what you found out, because to them it makes no sense, right? And that's why one of that critical skill you must learn as a data analyst is your data storytelling, right? So how you communicate it, those your insights towards the stakeholders or the management. All right. So we don't bother ourselves with how you query the data, how you clean and transfer. Nobody cares about that. Just tell us what you found out, right? So that's why you see most times when people are now doing data analysis, you must understand what visualization, how to visualize, because that's one of the most important thing. But yes, visualization is one thing, but what insights are you getting from it and are you communicating? That will make sense to them. That's even the most important thing, right? Yeah, everything is important, but there are some that are much more critical than the others. Okay. So what we looked at was we started with looking at what Power BI, and we have seen that Power BI is a data visualization tool, isn't it? So in Power BI, there are several things we need to learn, right? I'm sure some of us are already familiar. So one is importing the data, right? Because remember, we're talking about extraction. You need to extract the data, okay? So when you import the data can come from different sources, right? From different sources. So what you have been used to is importing data from Excel, is it not? You can import data as a text file or a CSV, is it not? You can import data from the web, right? You can import data from an SQL database, right? You can even use Python or R to also import your data, right? And so many other tools you can, however data source it is. So once you import the data, most times the data is never clean. So that's why whenever you import the data, you will always transform. You will always transform the data. Okay. So that's why the tool that you are going to use to transform this data is your what? Power Query, right? I'm sure we are familiar with the history of Power BI. You know, Power BI started from Excel, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So your Power Query is what they refer to as what? An ETL tool. Can you see that? What does ETL stand for? What does ETL stand for?
Extract,
You
transform,
extract the
and load.
data. Is it not? What do you do next? You transform it. Is it not?
And
And
load.
load it. Is it not? Good. So it's an ETL tool. All right. So that's important. So we would have seen how to import from an Excel file, from a CSV file, from the web, from the database. Okay, we have not touched Python or R, so I think these are the ones we can look at for now. All right. Next thing we need to do is to learn how to clean the data, right? Clean and transform the data. And this is one skill you must learn, data cleaning, because most time the data will never be clean and it's never ready for analysis. And that's why, again, as you progress in your development, right, as a data analyst, you start seeing that yes, you may have to learn almost everything, but depending on the organization you find yourself, especially for larger organizations, you see most of those rules are now specific. So the person who will be in charge of cleaning and importing, transforming this data, right? In fact, so the source for that data, clean and transform it in a form almost ready for analysis. Those people are referred to as what? The data engineers. So it's actually data engineer that do all this. Okay, that's their own task. Go and pick the data from the different sources, push it to a warehouse or what, a database, right? But it will be clean, transformed, and what automated. That transformation will be automated. So now you as a data analyst will now go to that database or data warehouse to now what extract that data. Okay, so you clean and what transform the data. Now from there you now need to what model it. So your data modeling now comes in. Okay, so once you connect this data different data from the different sources, you clean it. You know, once they are clean, you can now what pull them together. So that's your what data modeling. Then the next thing you need to do is to build your measures, right? Your measures, which is your DAX. So DAX is another critical thing we learn, right? Then your what? Before you know what, visualize. So that's your data visualization. Okay. So these are the basic things you need to what, cover in Power BI. Is that clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any questions so far? Any questions so far?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Did we say yes or no?
None from me, sir.
Somebody said yes, okay.
I thought I heard yes. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So let's start. So by now, I'm sure we have most of us have installed our Power BI, isn't it? But let me start from what we already know. Let me see. What do I have? Do I have any data here? No. So which data sets do we have? Which data sets do we have?
The one Chinoye sent. What's that?
Okay. I'm trying to get my own. Okay. Let me see. Data. Okay. Let me copy. Okay, this is one. Who was that superstore? Because I had to clean my system, so I copied them. Okay, let me check another one. Superstore. Yes, superstore. Good. Superstore 2. All right, good. Okay, so let me open my Power BI. Now you know that Power BI, right, from this last June, you know they have recently updated they have really released their updates, isn't it? So you not notice that there's a change. How many of you have noticed that there's a change now in Power BI? Have we noticed any change in Power BI?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So now, if you have if you have downloaded your Power BI, you now notice now it's green, right? You know, before it used to be black and yellow, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one. You will notice another thing that before you were having your filter, your visuals, and your fields on the right side, right? You now notice that these are where your visuals are now. Can we see it now? It's no longer here on the right.
Mine is still to the right.
Mine is still on the right.
Yeah, that is the
And
old
mine
one
is
you're
still
using.
black
That's
and yellow.
the old one you're using. So this is now the new updates now. In fact, I've updated the last one now. So if you want to check your own, when you go to help, check about. Check your last. So this is May. So I've not even updated June. June should already be out. Okay. So you now notice that this is now a new change. So that's how you now know which one is using the latest one. Okay. So this is now where you find the visuals. So just in case they see where the data is, can you see the data? So they now put as if it's hidden somewhere. All right, good. Now when we are importing our data, right? So most times, because it's an Excel file, you just come here, import from Excel, right? So we said there are different versions, right? Or different sources of data. It can be an Excel file, a CSV file, a web, a database, right? So let's try and illustrate most of those ones. So for an Excel file, that's straightforward. So you just import from Excel, or you come here, Excel, or you come here, get data, Excel. Can you see that? If I go to my desktop, I'll now see. So that's Excel file. Okay. So I'll say open. So that one we're already familiar with that, right? So you now check others. Then you now say transform. You can see transform, right? Well, most times if you are sure it's clean, well, you can just quickly load
Both
it.
directly.
But most times there must always be an issue. So that's why always transform. Okay. Now, by now, can we differentiate between an Excel file and a CSV file? Can we differentiate an Excel file from a CSV file? Can we differentiate an Excel file from a CSV file?
I can't, sir.
You can?
No,
Or you say you can or you can't?
can't.
Oh, you
can't.
can't. Okay, you can't. Okay. So let me see if I can see let me share my. Sorry, can you see my desktop?
Yes, sir.
You can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Now you see superstores. Can you see there are two there?
Yes, sir.
They both, if I open them both in Excel, they will open, is it not?
Yes.
But how will I know which is an Excel file and which is CSV file? Just by looking at it, right? Just by looking, can we make the icons larger? Aha. Now look at it. Can you see any difference between these two files?
Yes.
Yes.
What are you noticing now?
Something.
One has an alphabet and the other one.
Alphabet and the other one.
So this one that has alphabet is what?
That's the CSV.
CSV.
Mm,
While this is what?
Excel.
An Excel file, is it not? But when you open them, they will all open normally, is it not? But they are not the same thing. Because they have implications, right? Especially when you want to clean data. Okay. Now, another difference again is that in a CSV file, what again differentiates a CSV file from an Excel file? Another important note.
Extension.
Eh?
Is the extension.
Okay, the extension, okay, .csv, is it not? Yes, .csv, okay. What again? There's another thing again that differentiates it. Yes, what's another thing that differentiates a CSV file from an Excel file?
I think the way the information shows on the file.
Okay.
I know for CSV, the delimiter is comma, if I'm correct.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And for Excel is not. You have it.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes that your CSV file can be seen as a text file. Isn't it? But there's something else. When you want to save your CSV file, what does it tell you?
Yeah, it shows CSV in that
Yes, it will show
yeah,
CSV, right?
CSV.
But there's something else. If I have a number of sheets, what happens when I want to save it?
Okay, I think it only saves. You can't have more than one tab.
You cannot have what?
More than one tab.
Yes, more than one sheet. It will not allow you to save more than one sheet. So a CSV file can only take one sheet. So that's why if you are going to work with 10 sheets, right, and you decide to save a CSV file, it's only going to save only one sheet. All the other one will disappear. Right? So it's important again we take note of that. All right. Is that okay? So we have seen different features, isn't it? One, by looking at the file, you see a comma, that's a CSV file, isn't it? And that is the extension .csv or comma separated. And the other thing is that it only takes one sheet. Okay. So when we are importing a CSV file, we come to get data. Can you see your text or CSV? So you can now see A. Can you see that? So that now tells you that it's a text or a CSV file. So we can now open that. So can you see it now? That's a text or a CSV file. All right. I hope we are clear with the Excel and the CSV already, isn't it? Are we clear with that? Good. Now,
Yes, sir.
sometimes we also need to get data from the web, right? Maybe from a web page. So let's say, for example, which data can we get now from? Which web page do you have that you want to extract data from? Which data do you have any web page that has data in form of a table that you want to extract? Let's see, movie with.
We could try IMDb.
IMDb. Okay. They have movie ratings there, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Movie, okay, Internet Movie Database. Does this have let's see. Okay, let's say something like this, right? But is this in a table? Okay, let's try and see if we can extract this. Right, so most likely it has to be in a table format first, right? But let's try and see. But think of any other one that has a table. So if you want to import from the web, so you come here, get data. You see web, right? Web. Then you come here, paste the URL. Okay. All right. So let's connect. So once you have that, the link there, then you check for whether I can see any table. If it sees any table to extract, if it doesn't see any table, there you have. So was this what we saw?
Yes.
Yes.
So can you see that it has extracted it, right? So most time, any data you have from the web, this is how you are going to what? Pick it. Okay.
Sorry, please, how was it appearing on the website? I didn't see that.
On the website, this is how it appeared on the website. Title, weekend, gross,
Okay.
weekly, right?
Able to see some of the things that are not useful, like this IMD charts besides it.
Which one? This one, right? Did you see it?
Yes.
It
Uh,
won't show as a table now.
It will not, maybe to check, let's check
It
it
won't, you won't be
again.
able to.
Maybe if you check the other one, maybe HTML code or
Mhm.
text
It's
display,
not what you can use.
you can hide exactly. So if you check, you may see it somewhere, but so if you try to extract, so you look for the one that has table, and that's what you extract for you. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why if I click on web view, can you see how it's looking at it on the web? So that's web view. This is table view. So this is table view, this web view. Do you see that? All right. So that's another way of getting data. Now the other one is through a database, right? Through a database. Now you know that most of us learned how to use MySQL, is it not? We have learned how to use MySQL, right? I think this is what most of us learned now, MySQL.
Yes, sir.
So we now know that with your knowledge of SQL, right? What you don't want to do is to go and import a large file, bring it to Power BI, they start cleaning and removing it, right? So that's why with your knowledge of SQL, you just extract the tables that you want, the columns that you want from the different tables or the different database in one place. You don't have to do any cleaning again. Just write your script to just extract the columns that you want from the different databases and tables. They bring it in one place. So that's just the query that you just need. Otherwise, you will have to import it, then start cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. So that's duplication of what? Effort. Okay. So if you are using MySQL, so with MySQL, you have to go to your, let's go to my databases there. So you see databases, right? You see databases now, right? So you see my SQL database. Now, it doesn't just work directly. You need to go and install, you need to go and get a connector, my SQL connector. All right. Because I have removed my own system, so I don't have my SQL on my own system now. So I will not even be able to connect, right? So, but what I have is Microsoft SQL Server. And that's what you are going to see that for most organizations, right? You now start seeing either they're using Microsoft SQL Server or they are using maybe Oracle 11G or whichever of the enterprise version. But even though MySQL is also Oracle, but it's an open source, okay? So that's why once you have learned MySQL, I will suggest you also go and what? Install Microsoft SQL Server, right? Now you are going to now see some minor differences there. Because what we are going to see, we have imported from Excel. Now we want to import from SQL Server, okay? But let's go to Microsoft SQL Server so we can see what it looks like. How many of us are familiar with Microsoft SQL Server? How many of us are familiar with it? Anybody? Can you see my screen? I don't know what. Let me see if I can reshare it again. Connect to. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you see the SQL server, is it not?
Hmm.
You can see the server database engine, right? You can see the server. Can you see the server name?
Yes.
So this is the server name, right? Now, how you are going to, because sometimes, because this is my own system, that why it's window authentication. But if it's in your organization, they would have given you a login and a password. So is that login and password, they will give you access to the database. Okay. But because it's on this system, that's why it's Windows activation. So there's no username or password. But if I have username or password, I'll put it. So I'll just only copy the server name. Okay. So I'll connect. Right. I will connect. So can we see this now?
Yes, sir.
Can we see this? So with your own knowledge of my SQL, now what do you think is the next step you are going to do here? At least most of us have learned SQL now, isn't it? So what's the next thing we need to do now? Which one looks more scary, MySQL or this one? MicroSQL server?
This one.
This one looks more scary, right? Yes, but actually it's almost the same thing. But the only thing that, especially for beginners, that's why normally I usually suggest start with MySQL, but it's more user-friendly. But once you have got the hang of it, it's straightforward. Okay, good. So once we have entered this, so the next thing we need to do is go to new query. Can you see new query? So new query.
Yes.
So can you see where you can type now?
Yes.
Aha. So now what can we type? What do we type here? So if you're in MySQL, what do you do?
We show
Show what?
Data.
database.
Show data. This is how you'd have done it in MySQL, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, if I run it like this, it doesn't understand show.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you get? What alternative way of doing the same thing in MySQL? What is the alternative way of doing this? What is the alternative way of doing this in MySQL? Yes. What is the alternative way of doing show databases in MySQL?
Describe
Yeah?
to describe the database.
Describe. Do we describe database?
We don't use,
Describe.
we don't use this for.
That's to see the table structure, right? That's describe the table name. Yeah, so if in MySQL, what's the alternative way of doing it? To see all the databases there. Yes?
Display.
There's another one we use now. Select star from where? From where?
Schema.
Do you remember this? Have we not seen this in MySQL before?
Yes, sir.
No. Can you see that? So now this one will work. Can you see that? Alternatively, what you wanted to do as show databases in a SQL server, actually, what it will show you, you can do this now. Select star from where? sys.databases. So like system databases. Can you see that now? You see it now. So what we are doing is show database. You now see that it's the same thing I want to do. The only thing is that it does not understand what show is, but both of them understand what select is, isn't it? So this is how you can go about it, right?
So, sir, why are the commands different? Are they not both SQL?
They are both SQL. Remember, so this one, remember, I always use this example that Anambra and Delta, is not, you can say they speak Igbo, but are they exactly the same thing?
No.
Anambra will be speaking Igbo, is not, the other one is speaking Delta Igbo, but they're almost saying the same thing, right? But it's not exactly the same. So that is why we call them the SQL flavor. So sometimes you can see what they call for MySQL, this SQL, they call it TSQL. That's like transactional SQL. So when you hear TSQL, they are referring to what? Microsoft SQL Server. Again, for example, in my SQL, if I want to do top 10, how will I do top 10 in SQL? In my SQL, top 10. In my SQL, if you want to do top 10, what syntax? I use it for top 10. Yes. What syntax do you use for top 10 in my SQL? Top 10.
Limit.
Limit, right? Limits. I'll use limits. Now, can you see that in SQL Server, it doesn't understand limits. What you understand is what? Top. So I can say top 10 or bottom 10. Do you see that now? So they are the same concepts, but maybe the syntax will be a bit different. So that's why it's important you understand what you are doing. Once you understand what you want to do, just go and check, how do I do this in micro? But it's the same thing you are going to execute. Okay, so these are where the minor differences will be. All right, so for here, so let's start. So once we enter, for example, the database, we want to check the database. So what do? We say select star from what? Let's say sys.databases, right? Databases. So this one will show you all the system database there, right? So you can see now. So we can see one of the adventure walk something there, right? Or we can say select star from what? Information schema.tables. So maybe not all of them. So what we can do, so I can first of all check, okay, this adventure walk. So the next thing I'll say is what? Use what? Adventure. I think this is how we do it in MySQL, is it not? Use. Do you remember this? Use this database, is it not? Now I want to check the tables. Now to check the tables in MySQL, what will you do next to see the tables?
Show
database, exactly. Now in Microsoft SQL Server, this is now what I will now use. Select information schema dot what tables. Now it will now show me all the tables there. Can you see the difference now? So I can now see all the tables there, isn't it? So now that I have seen the table, so if I want to select one particular one, so which one do you want to choose now? Product. If I want to choose product now, so how do I check product? I want to see product or customer. So let's say I want to open customer. How do you open customer now? I want to see customer, the customer table. So how do you extract customer table now? If I want to see this customer table now, how do I see customer table?
Is it order by?
This customer table, I want to see customer table, the content of customer table. If you're in MySQL, how will you have read customer? If I want to read that customer table, how will you read it?
it's not select.
It will just be what? Select what? Select what?
From
Select what?
product.
What are you selecting from products?
Um,
We want to see customer, this table called customer. Yes. Because this knowledge I are going to now use in Power BI. Right? So rather than you coming here, do your syntax, exporting it, then going to take that file, go to import it into Power BI. Now, with your knowledge of SQL, you just go straight to Power BI and connect. You know, so that syntax you want to write, you write it straight inside Power BI. Okay, so now I want to read this customer table. So how do I read customer table now? It will be what? Yes. How do I read customer table? Customer table. How do I read it?
I will select
Uh-huh.
star
Uh-huh.
from
From uh-huh.
no adventure work underscore customer dot customer, right?
So that
Yes,
means dot what?
customer.
Like this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. If you are in my SQL, it works straight now, is it not? But see, this one is giving us error. It doesn't know what they are talking about. Now, why is that so? Because you must call the, remember when we say best practice, call the name in full, is it not? When there's problem, call the name in full, isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
what's the name in full now? If I want to call it in full, what would it be? Adventure walk. What again? Adventure walk. Yes, what again? You see that sales LT.
This LT.
Can you see that?
Ah.
Dot customer. Can you see that? Let's run.
Okay.
Can you see that now? The whole name has come out. You see, it's exactly the same. That's why I say best practice. Always call the name in full. Call everything. So you know that there's problem. Oh, is it not? Call everybody's name. Clear? So you see, they're already the same thing that you're. So for example, if I want to call, look at this build vision, how do I call build vision now? Build vision. I want to see build vision. How do I read it now?
Adventure work order DBO
So
dot
to be
build
select, start from where?
Adventure work
work. Dot what?
DBO.
What does DBO stand for?
database object.
Database object, is it not? Then what? Build vision. Or build version there. Then I'll run it. So can you see that now? How it works now? Isn't it? So now I want to read. Now, if I run this now, okay, let's see other tables again. Let's see other tables. So let's say this is customer. So let us see sales order. So how do I read sales order now? So sales order will be what? Sales order detail. Sales order detail. So we have ID units. Aha. Is there customer there? So what is the link between customer and sales order? We have customer ID. Do we have customer ID here? No customer ID here.
No.
So let's check. So what again can we use? Okay, let's say products. So let me see products.
Product ID. Product.
So let's use products. I'm sure we did this and we know what's going on here in my when we're doing it in MySQL, is it not? What are we trying to achieve here?
Connection.
A connection, is it not? We want to see a connection. Right? Because without that connection, there's no way you can build your data model. Right? And what are we going to use to connect them together? What are we going to use to connect them together? Let's see another one. So let's say sales order header. I don't know what's inside that. Sales order header. Sales order header. All right, good. So let's run that and check. So we have sales ID here. We have sales order ID. Sales order. So those two can connect, is it not? Aha, so beautiful. Now, are you seeing any relationship now between the three of them? Can we see any relationship between the three of them? Look at this. Look at this. What's the primary key here?
Customer ID.
So
ID.
customer ID. So customer ID is your primary key here. Let's check this. What's the primary key here?
Sales order.
Sales.
So we have sales what? Order ID.
Order ID.
Is it not? And we also have sales what? Order detail ID. Is it not?
Yeah.
That's another one again. Then let's check here. Sales
Product
order.
ID.
Let's check what do we have. So here we have what?
Sales order ID.
Sales order ID. Do you not say any other thing again?
Customer ID.
Customer ID. Is it not? So we have seen how to connect those three tables together, isn't it? So how are we going to connect them together? So how are we going to connect them together now? So how will we connect these tables together now?
Is it apostrophe?
You say?
Apostrophe.
Where? How are we going to connect these three tables together now?
We joined them.
We join them, is it not? We'll join them, is it not? So you see where that your knowledge of SQL is very important because that's what we are going to do in Power BI, right? Because of everything you have learned is how to select tables and join tables from different places. That's actually the skill you need. That's what we are going to take into Power BI. All right. I hope most of us, we were part of the SQL class. Is anybody that was not part of the SQL class? God, otherwise, we're looking like miracle.
Actually, I think I joined the first two classes and couldn't make the rest, but I intend to go back to the videos.
Okay. Okay, but do you understand what we are trying to do here?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
To a certain extent. Yeah, although I don't know the codes or syntaxes.
Yes. So okay, let's just start with one. Let's take one first. So let's say this one that you ran here is, so let me copy it out, right? Remember we have our data. So if I come to query connection, trying to look at where we have our connect. So you see the server name, right? So can you see the server name? So I want to copy the server name now, right? That's the server name. So let's go back to Power BI. Let's go back to Power BI. So you can now see here, import from SQL Server. Can you see that? Now, Microsoft SQL Server, Microsoft Power BI. You see Microsoft. So you don't need any connector to connect straight. So that's why you see most organizations, they just connect it straight. But where you are using something like Microsoft SQL Server or any other source, it's not Microsoft, right? So it's just like you having the Toyota part and you have a Benz. You cannot find the Benz product, but you have the Toyota part. You know how our mechanics, they can convert one part to another to fit it in, is it not? So what you now need is a connector. So that's why for most of those other sources, you may require a connector. So the ones you don't need connector, this is what you are seeing here. So it connects straight. But where you now need connector, when I go to more. So apart from Microsoft SQL Server, any other one will require a connector. So all these other ones, apart from Access, anything Microsoft, like even your SAP, you require a connector. Can you see that? You require a connector for most of them, right? But for SQL Server, you don't need a connector. So I just come here, import from SQL Server. So what's my server name? What's my server name? Can you see that? That's the server name, is it not? What's my database? What's my database name? What's my database name? What's my database name?
Information schema.
Database name. The name of my database.
Adventure work.
Adventure walk. Yeah, that's it now. Is it not? Can you see that? So I'll go back there. So I'll paste that there. Now, if I want to type a query, now remember those queries we were trying to type, is it not? We said what? What did we type there? Select star from where? Adventure walk dot what? Was it sales what? LT? Was that what we typed there? Sales LT, is it not? Was sales LT, is it not? Dot customer. I think this is what we typed in the Microsoft SQL Server.
Yes, I think so.
So I'll click OK. Once the enemies are at work, you know that they are really at work. So what did they say now? We're quite trying to connect. So edit. Did I miss any name? Is this sale?
Maybe we can check that. Says 80. How was it?
Right.
That
Is it customer or customers? Aha.
customer, no S.
You see that small difference, can be a big problem. Aha, so we have connected. Is it not? So we have connected. Now you see the problem now, because you know from databases, the data will be very large, is it not? So imagine I want to connect everything. You see, it will bring the full data there. But is it everything that you need here? Is it everything you need here?
No.
So there are specific columns that you will not need, is it not? There are some that you require. Right? So that's why with your knowledge of SQL, you just type, query it out, is it not? To bring exactly what you need. Otherwise, if I have brought in the entire table like this and say transform, right? If I now say transform, it means that when it's taking me to my Power Query, is it not my Power Query now? Can you see my Power Query screen?
Yes, sir.
Now, is it everything that I need? Then I will now have to start cleaning everything. Is it not? I'll start cleaning. So you see, it's like you are duplicating your work. So with your knowledge of SQL, all you just need to just to query exactly the table that you need. So do you want us to try to query it so that we get the table that we need? So first try to SQL Server. At least with this one, you are going to learn two things. You are going to learn how to use how Microsoft SQL Server works, is it not? And you are going to learn how to import it inside Power BI. Okay. So let's bring out the tables that we require. So for customer, what is important for us in customer now?
Customer ID.
So we need customer ID. What again? What else do we need? Customer ID. Any other thing? Customer ID. What again do we need?
Company name, salesperson,
So you say what?
company name,
Okay, company name. What again?
salesperson,
Salesperson. Okay, so that's the, did they write? Okay, they called it first name. So let's just say, okay. So let's say first name. And let's say last name. So let's say these are the only columns that we require from here, isn't it? This
okay,
is the only column we require from this table, isn't it? So
Yes,
let's
sir.
go to the next table and check what do we need again. So here from this table, what do we need now?
product ID,
We need, okay, product ID. Product ID.
unit price,
We need unit price. Any other thing?
Order quantity.
Product to order quantity. Okay, order quantity. Any other thing?
okay, let's do value, let's multiply unit price by,
By the
For,
quantity.
but you know, for now we are
No,
not
no, it's fine,
analyzing
it's fine.
anything. For now we are not. We are just
you are not analyzing, I got it.
we are just extracting.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. This is all we need, right?
Hmm.
This is all we need. So let's go to the other ones and that. So what do we need here?
Order date,
Order dates. You know, we need order dates.
and ship date,
We need ship dates. Ship dates. Okay. What again?
that's all.
Okay, that's all right.
Mm.
All right. Okay, that's all. So now, so it means that if I want to connect from here, so these are the columns that I need from this table, isn't it? So what do we do? It will be what? Select what? These columns, is it not from where?
Adventure works,
Adventure
From
works.
this table, is it not from this
Yes.
table? Good. So can you see what we have extracted now from this
Yes.
table, isn't it? Good. So from this one, what do we need? We need these columns. We'll say what? Select. This is not from where?
adventure, yes,
From this table, isn't it?
Mm.
We run this. So you see, we are seeing them individually, you know, so that we, for those of us who are not familiar with it too much. Then from here, collect, say select. From where?
The other one.
sales order, yeah.
So here what we have done is just to select each of the table one after the other, is it not?
Mm.
So now we want to bring them, all of them together. Is it not? We want to bring all of them together. So how do we do it? We want to bring all of them together. So how are we going to do that?
Not join,
Yeah, so let's do that now. So now we want to select all of them, is it not? So we select this column. Sorry, we need this column. We need this column, is it not?
Mm.
We have selected, okay, this last one. So we need this one. You know, otherwise, you know what you'd have done? Once you import the entire database, you go and start cleaning it yourself in Power BI. So it's better you just extract, because once you do it once, you don't do it again. So we have selected all the columns. Now notice that this customer ID, the same thing as this customer ID here, is it not? So we need just one. Is it not? We need just one. So which one are we then taking? Customer ID, customer ID. So you know there's going to be an issue here now, is
The
it not?
first one.
So let me take out one, is it not?
Yes, sir.
So I'll take out one. But which one? Which particular one? You get which particular one are we taking?
The power is the one from, what do you call it now?
From where? Which particular one?
The first one.
The
The one
first
from
one, is it not? So remember, if it was in Power in MySQL, we would have done what? Dot. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
I think we know what's going on here.
Dot customer ID, that's the
Yes,
connecting.
sir.
We'll call the name in full order because you know there will be problem, oh, is it not? So we'll now say what now? So select. What next? Or maybe even if we may not even do it here for now. We may not even need it here now, right? Okay, let's leave. Okay, let's leave it there. Okay, so what's next thing now? So we have selected all the columns. So what's next thing now? What's the next thing?
Select all the column.
Yeah, we have selected all columns. If you want to arrange it in a particular order, you can arrange it too. So for example, I can take my dates, right? I can bring my dates. I can bring, so for example, I can bring my dates, right? I can take my dates.
Okay. Then we join.
So I can, okay, let's leave it for now first. Okay, yeah, so what's next thing now? Then what?
Then we join.
So is it join?
Inner join.
Inner join.
Now join.
What are we joining?
So okay, we're joining with customer ID, right?
Yes.
So we're taking Adventure Work sys customer, sys customer.
Customer. What again?
On the primary ID.
Yes.
On
That was the word.
on what?
Customer ID. I think.
Customer ID. Equal to what?
Go to the second one.
So which
Sales
is the
order
second
details.
one?
That's sales order head detail.
Sales order detail.
Sales order
Detail dot customer ID.
dot
Customer ID.
customer ID, like this.
Yes, with the semicolon.
Okay, but we are not done now, is it not?
We're not done.
Then what again?
Inner join.
Inner join.
Then adventure.
So for which table? For which table now?
Sorry, my laptop is shut down. I'm actually using my phone. I'm sorry. So
Is that?
I said my laptop is having issues, so I'm actually using my phone.
Okay. So you can't
Yeah.
see. Can
I can't. Yeah, I'm struggling to go up.
I've reduced it. I don't know whether I can see it.
If we've done customer.
So I'm thinking from the second.
This other header. Yes, the other table.
The second table, right? So what's the second table now?
Adventure Works sales order header. Yes.
Sales order header.
Header.
Okay.
Dot sales order ID.
Dot what?
Sales order ID.
Now we are doing now. We have selected the table now, isn't it? So after selecting,
Yeah.
what's next thing now?
On
On what?
Okay, on the sales order table. Sorry, sales order header.
dot sales order ID.
Okay, good. Dot
Dot sales order ID.
sales order ID. Where is it so that I don't make mistake in the names? Sales order ID. Equal to what now?
ID.
Equal to adventure sales order details dot sales order ID.
Sales order details.
Dot sales order ID.
So where is it here, right?
Yes, sir.
Go to the third one.
Dot what?
Yes,
Sales
sales
order ID.
order detail.
They both have ID, right?
Yes.
Confirm, with this work?
Yes,
Now
it should work.
remember, which table is this now, right? So we have taken sales order. We took sales
Header.
order header here, right?
Yes.
We took sales customer here, right? So what again?
It should work.
This should work.
It should work.
Okay, with all those errors we are seeing there. All right, let's pray. Inner, incorrect syntax near inner. So now, so let's see. Is it inner or inner join? Let's see. So where's the word now? Now you see, that's another thing I wanted to mention the last time, man. You see, whenever we are writing this syntax, most times when it is not clear, right, we don't know what to do. Do you now know the new way of learning how to correct your codes? You will know the
So
new
you said we can drop it on ChatGPT.
Yes, just copy it exactly. Just carry it to ChatGPT and just say correct it.
To correct.
But this is when you have got into a level. Do you get?
Yes, sir.
When you have got into a level, you understand it. Because if you don't understand it, it's the same nonsense that you will do, right? So let's say ChatGPT. Let me see if I have mine connected. Okay, so let me see if I can share ChatGPT. So you now just say, I just put it there, right? I just say correct, or I say what is wrong, or in fact no, just copy the error, copy the error, put your syntax there, copy the error, and go and paste it there. So you just say put the error there. So you run it like this. So let it look for where the problem is. However, now you now see how it's writing it, isn't it? But you see, even if it has done it like this, if you don't know what you are doing, you still give you wrong answer, is it not? So
Yes,
let's
sir.
copy this one now and go and try. Let's go and try. So the point I want to show you here that even when they tell you that AI has come to make life easy, right? It's only those who know how to use it. So those who are saying that it's going to take your job, it's not taking anybody's job if you don't know what you are doing with it. It is those who know how to use it that we used to take people's job, not the AI itself. So let's run it and check. You see the same error is given us.
Same problem.
So now let's just trace it ourselves, what the issue is, right? So let's check what the issue is. So let's check what the issue is. So if we go through, so select, so just be, so what do we have here? So select, okay. So we have first name, last name. So just make sure that one is okay. So adventure work. So let's now check where the problem is coming from now. So is it not inner join? Let's leave that inner join there. Or let's leave it as joint and see join. Let me see join if that will work. All right. So inner join or join. Join what?
But it still has the error thingy underneath it. Is that applicable?
So you see, for Microsoft SQL Server, right? I think it uses join, right? I think it also uses join there, right? So what you can just, or what you can just do now, so just say inner join on Microsoft SQL Server, right? So if we check, let me share my screen for you. So if you check now, so can you see the syntax they gave? Can you see the syntax? So select products, this from inner join. Can you see it now? So it's inner join. It says inner join. So it's inner join. So the way we did it is okay. Inner join. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So that's why it's fine.
So is the bracket a problem?
Was there any space? Now, can you see what they call transact SQL? You see transact SQL, that is TSQL. That's what the language that SQL Server uses. Now look at how they do it. Inner join, left outer join, right outer join, full outer join, cross join. So these are the ones they have. So inner join is correct. So inner join is correct. So let's go back. So let's use inner join, inner join. All right, let's go. So let's look at it. So we have selected the name, inner join. So let's confirm now. So this is what? Customer, is it not? I think that was the table that we used.
Dr. Francis.
Yes.
If we have two, like we have sales order ID twice, would that be a problem?
Yes, to give us a problem.
Okay, so we have sales order ID
so where
twice.
This is sales ID twice.
The first, when we select, let's call our selection options.
Okay.
First name, last name, company name, sales order ID.
Beautiful. Yes.
Okay.
It's supposed to give us ambiguous there, right? Okay. So check. Now, if you don't want that situation, then you have to now call it like this so that you know where it's coming from.
Yes,
individual. It can come twice. Otherwise, that one can also be another issue. And where did that come from? Which table did it come from? Sales order ID. So it came from here. Sales order details, isn't it?
Mm.
So let us call it from here. Dot. Do we get that? Because it's coming, yes. They are in two tables, so we have to call it in full. Right? We have to call it in full. Good. What again? So check anyone. Sales order ID can also be another issue, you know. So let's bring it out from here. Sales order header, right? Dot. So let it be there. Sales order ID. Good. So I think those are the three things now. Okay. All right, great. So inner join. So we're bringing from that on what now? Customer, from customer table, is it not? The ID equals to that. Now, another thing again, take note, if there's space, for example, if there's space, you know, in Microsoft, in my SQL server, in my SQL, what will you have done if there's space there? you use a inverted this is
iPhone, inverted comma.
like this. But in Microsoft SQL Server, you want to use the brackets, use the compound bracket, the square brackets. So that's the difference. So just in case you have that issue.
Mm.
All right. So take note of that. So any other thing again? Inner
No.
join. So the next one is what? Okay, header, right? So I want to join it from this table, header, header dot sales order ID, dot. Okay, let me see whether any other issue again coming up. So where is it saying?
Incorrect syntax.
You know what we should do? Can we just try one table first? Let's just join two tables first, then we'll see where the problem is coming from.
Yes.
I think that will be easier for us.
Okay.
So we now join this on this. So let me copy that first one. So which one is not in this first table?
The last part.
The last part, right? So let me take. So we have, so from this table, we have customer ID, first name, last name. So all this now, right? I think we can take this one out. Okay, let's take that one out. So select customer ID, first name, from where? So say inner join on what? All right, good. Please let's confirm more. Let's confirm. Oh, let me see. So what is it saying?
Incorrect syntax.
Keyword inner. Is there anything that is
Just
missing
take
there?
out inner.
Eh?
Should we remove inner?
That inner is not the issue because it's the syntax. There's something. Let me see. It's still joined. There's something there.
Okay, Dr. Francis, before
Yeah.
we join,
Mhm.
okay. I wanted to say, can we select? This doesn't make sense.
So I want to see where the issue, whether it's the syntax that is the issue. So select adventure, first name, last name, company name, is it not? And we need to confirm
Yes,
that spellings are correct too. You know, we ran them here. This is what we ran first, is it not? We ran this one here. It worked, isn't it?
Mm.
We ran it here. This one worked, is it not?
Yes.
So now I want to bring both of them together, right? So let's say, for example, okay, because the two names are exactly the same thing. So sales order ID is here. Okay, but in this other table, right? Where's that second table? We don't have customer there. Where was that last one we did? I think there were three tables we did now.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
this other
One,
Where's
this
this
first
is-
table. Where is
There's
second?
header. I'm supposed to. This is the header one.
Okay, this is the header. So this is the second one, right? So what's the issue?
Okay. Yeah.
Did I put any hash there?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm so that, okay, this was from here, right? Okay, since I removed it here, okay, I think I removed them here. So it will be this. Let me put it here. Select from and you know, this is exactly how the problems come. especially when you are trying to join from different tables. So this one worked, Abi. So now what we want to do, we want to merge. So what I want to do, I want to merge these two together, isn't it? So what I can now say is just say select what? Star from where? Is it star from? Do you see where it is coming from?
Okay.
Star from where now? So from where are we collecting it from now?
From dot customer.
Yes. So do you see where the problem is coming from?
I think so.
Yes. So you know when we are picking it, you're supposed to have done from the table, right?
Okay.
Do you get? So which of the table now? So we wanted to pick that first one. Where was it? Okay, this is where we did it. Okay, yes. From which table now? I think it's this sales order here, right? So from this table, isn't it? Then we want to now inner join on this your sales order details, is it not? So which will now be here? Do we see that? Can we see it now? So let's run it now. Can you see that now?
Yes.
So where did the problem come from?
From.
This from exactly. You see that? We're just going straight. So now you have done it. You see how it works now, is it not?
Yeah.
You see how it works. So this is exactly the knowledge we now take now. So you see, in this case now, we picked exactly the columns that we want. Is it not? So we don't need much cleaning here. So now let's go to Power BI. So let me take this my syntax now. So let's go to Power BI now. So let's go to Power BI. So let me go close. Okay, let's say new source SQL Server. What's my server name? So let me go to this thing. So this is syntax now, is it not?
Yes,
This is
sir.
syntax, you know. What is my server name? What is my server name?
You have to copy it again, sir.
Yeah, so that's desktop
Something.
express. So that's your server name. So this is your server name, is it not? What's my database name? Adventure Works. Can you see that? So this is exactly what I need. So I'll click OK. Say optional. Okay, if it's optional, let me take it out. Okay. And we have connected. Can you see that now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's it now. So you see, we don't need to click. So you see the difference between the first two. The first one is that we have, that means you know what you have done. You are going to import all the database, clean all of them together, merge all of them together. But with SQL, I'll just take just one syntax and write it once and it brings it together for me. So you see the knowledge, why your knowledge of SQL is important as an analyst.
Yes, sir.
Especially that joins. You see why joins is very important. Joins. Even if you don't learn any other thing, you see that joins very important. Very. So I can pick 10 tables from 10 different databases. I will bring all of them together as one. So now I can now check, is there anything to clean here? So if there's nothing to clean, so date is okay, order.
What
So
about
maybe,
calculation?
in any calculation, I will use DAX to do that calculation. But if there's no other calculation, then I'll just say close and apply. Close and apply. We'll go to Power BI now. Power BI, great. Where's my data? Where my data disappeared to? Queries. I think this. So let me call the second one. Let me call it joins. Let me just call it joins. But to remember it to joins. Where is it hidden it now? So you see with the new ones now, can you see how it has changed somehow, right? It's not like before. So these are the company names. So let me now see. So if I come here, let me come here. Add data. So can you see how it has changed? So I'll now take name. So let me say name. So let me go to my x-axis. Joins. Let me pick order quantity. Can you see how it has your Power BI has gradually changed from the way it was before?
Yes, sir.
So these are now the new thing. So those who have been using the old one, if you don't want to update and you want to leave it there, you can leave it like that. Because this one is silly. So if I want to add my legends, maybe by what now? It's not you I'm seeing that we don't add F. Okay, I've added company name, right? So let's say by what now? Okay, let's say by first name, right? So that's like your legends, right? Legend. So these are now the changes that you're now going to be seeing. So those of you who have updated now, you see it's going to be a little bit different. Going to be a little bit what different. So the point here, we're just trying to show you that first of all, when you're working with Power BI, first of all, you need to learn how to import from different sources, is it not? So we have seen how to import from what? An Excel file. We have seen how to import from a text file. We have seen how to import from the web, is it not? We have seen how to import from a database. Yes. So whether it is Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, the same concept that you use. The only difference, you just know your server name, know the database name, then write your queries there. Your SQL query, then to pick the data there. Now, when we learn Python, there's another one we'll still go and do. When we learn Python, you will go and also import data with Python. But I don't think, do I have Python installed here? I think, but I'm not sure I've connected mine yet, but I'll try and connect it before. So can you see Python scripts?
Yes, sir.
So that Python script is the same way. How many of us are familiar with Python? So you know how you write your Python script: import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP. You know, then you can say df is equals to what? PD.read what? Maybe CSV. Can you see that they write your file name there? ABC bar. So you import it the same way you import with Python, normal. You just type your Python script there. So when we do Python, we'll come back to Power BI again and connect Python inside Power BI.
Okay, sir.
So that's why all these tools you are learning, you must learn how to connect all of them end to end. Right? So we have seen how Excel to Power BI, is it not? SQL to Power BI, Python to Power BI, R to Power BI. Because that's actually, because this is the end product, is it not? This is actually the end product. So all the analytics you are going to be doing, whether your Python, your Excel, you need to communicate it visually, you know. So that's why you still need to bring it down here. Okay, so we need to connect all of them with end to end. I hope that's clear.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So when we come next week, I think we should do data cleaning, right? Data cleaning. I hope this, for those of us who are already advanced users, I hope this was okay.
Advanced users.
As in most of you who are already familiar with Power BI now.
Yes, of course, sir.
Good, right? Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
So if you can install your Microsoft SQL Server and start practicing with it, the better for you. Okay, so at least you will learn MySQL and you have also learned Microsoft SQL Server. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you see, with Microsoft SQL Server, even though we say we know MySQL, you see there's no much difference. It's just the same way you think about it. But only sometimes the way you write the query in Microsoft SQL is a bit different, but it's almost the same. It's similar, right? It's similar, not as complete. And that's how it works with almost all of them. So even if you cannot get, you just ask how to do this in, you put the SQL Server there or the SQL flavor that you want. It will give you the syntax for it. All right, I think we can end it here so we don't complicate it further. All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Francis.
All right,
God bless
thank you very much. Yes, take care.
you.